Hello guys, welcome to the Africa and People's channel today, and in today's video we are going to be listening to Dr. Arikana. She is the former permanent representative of the African Union in the United States. So this is one of her speech.
What really is needed is us Black people coming together and speaking with one voice and approach this issue of reparations as a unit, not some entity out of the Caribbean and some small group out of the United States. No, it must be looked at as one people, as a race. The abuse for those who are being told all the African Americans suffered more than the Africans on the continent, that's a lie.
For people of our caliber, this is not somebody who is just saying what he doesn't know or what he just feel like saying. This is someone who have seen many times and again the treatment of African and the West. He's talking from deep experience and a place of authority. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel because it will help me spread this message further and faster.
I actually have a new diagnosis for us Black people. We have what we call PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. For us Black people, I'm calling it CTSD, continuous traumatic stress disorder. We're still being traumatized. No matter where you find us as Black people, we are the most endangered species on earth, more endangered than the wild animals. Our abuse, our exploitation continues to this very day. So the only way to address the issue of reparations is when we speak with one voice. Reparations are due from the United States. Reparations are due from Europe. And United Nations needs to be responsible to seeing to it that those reparations are paid by those two continents. For they are the ones that benefited the most from the abuse and exploitation of Black people. So we must unite. As ADDI, we are looking into assembling a team of lawyers who can look into this issue, where it can be addressed through the proper channels, through the US Congress, through the European Union, but we will be speaking with one voice, where we can have what we would call, especially now with the African Continental Free Trade Area. You see, our wealth is in Africa. The only way we are going to get our economic liberation is through utilizing and taking control of our inheritance in Africa. Africa still remains the richest continent on earth. Right now, we are going through a new scramble for Africa, where the rest of the world is looking to Africa for their needs. Let's not make no mistake about it. In spite of the centuries of exploitation, the latest studies are showing that the abusers, the colonizers, they've only tapped into maybe 10% of Africa's wealth. Maybe 10%. So there's a heck of a lot more still waiting for the children of Africa to come and take. You know, the reality is we must come together and speak with one voice. Every day, new resources, natural resources are being discovered in Africa. I want people to really understand, especially as diaspora, the vast amounts of wealth in Africa. Everybody is rushing to go there, except the inheritors, the owners of that wealth. So this is where we need to wake up. So if we can look at a situation to say where Africa is today is equivalent to where the US was 50, 60, 70 years ago. Everything development is needed. Everything development is needed. Picture a situation that we would like to have our true Wakanda. You can never have a Wakanda in the United States. There's only so much upgrading you could do of New York City. You cannot turn New York City into Wakanda. No, there's only so much you can do. You can only do so much in London. But in Africa, it's open land. We're going to leapfrog into the future, just like we did with cell phones, for example. Africa completely bypassed analog. I remember when I would go home to Africa, Africans were using digital cell phones. And here in America, we're still using analog. We were way behind. We simply leapfrogged. We no longer dug telephone lines in Africa. So many countries that did not have telephone access They just went on into digital. Well, guess what? We can do the same thing with Africa. Every city that needs to be built, all the cities in Africa today, they all want to get rid of them and build new cities. Because the old cities, there's only so much you can do with them. We can build futuristic cities. We can make our brother proud, Boseman, by building true Wakandas. Because all we have is virgin territory to put whatever we want. Cities that are controlled on a central grid. Cities that are completely automated in everything that we do. Cities that are even cheaper to build because they're going to be futuristic cities. We can do all that in Africa. We have a program right now we're looking at through African Diaspora Development Institute, where people don't realize the belly of Africa. When I talk about the belly of Africa, I'm talking that area from Ethiopia all the way to, say, Equatorial Guinea. That's the belly of Africa. We want to link the Indian Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean. Every 200 to 300 kilometers, we're going to have a brand new city that's going to be built around whatever is going on. Be it a cotton city, start with cotton growing and all the way to textile manufacturing, all the way to the fashion industry. Cities built on manufacturing of construction materials. Cities built on jewelry. From the mining of diamonds, from the mining of gold to creating of jewelry. So whatever is needed or what is readily available, we're going to be building those cities, but they will all be futuristic cities. Much easier to build, more economical to run. Guess what? We can build it. In Africa, we can build it. So why don't we say, well, we're all reparations. How about an idea of coming up with what we would call Reparations African Continental Development Plan? The funds that are put into a bank, private sector, to fund projects to build the Africa we want. Because that's where the money is, remember? The minerals are there. We take the gains from Africa, we then use them to build communities, Black communities around the world.